If CPS actually pull up to the Simpsons house, this might get dark fast. Let's see how deep this one goes. But like, subscribe, and hit the post notification.
Running lung cancer for Lisa. The three Simpson kids almost getting burned alive on TV.
No, I was seeing most baddest kids ever.
Homer and Marge are about as fit to parent as Barney is alive. And today, I'm going to do CPS should have done years ago. Hold this maniac mom and diabolical dad accountable.
Y'all see which one did the most parenting and who is the most worst parent and should go to jail. And for me, I'll say Homer, right? But if it's not Homer, then gotta be Marge. Same one.
After years of teasing and humiliation, this is the final straw for Lisa, and she does what every little sister dreams of doing. She gets a restraining order against her big bro.
Bart Simpson, this is a restraining order. From now on, you must stay at least 20 feet away from your sister.
Instead of getting a restraining order lifted and teaching Bart a lesson by taking away his toys, Homer and Marge actually support the restraining order, and Homer's even invented a weapon to enforce it.
This 20-foot pole will make Bart's restraining order oh so easy to enforce.
Lisa keeps the poke pole with her at all times, so Bart is forced to eat lunch in the pouring rain, ride a shopping cart to school, and even browse the gay section of the library. And just when he thought things couldn't get possibly any worse, his super loving parents literally force him to live outside like an animal.
Pretty scary out here, Dad.
Right. In the end, Lisa misses Bart too much and burns up the restraining order.
Get a point for that,
these parents of the year.
So he ended up becoming an animal.
Faced child abuse charges for building that sharp poke pole that ended up giving Bart severe nerve damage.
Hey,
I'm afraid your
that
arm
point
is
for
a
both
stained
of them.
extension.
Who was the one who allowed this?
Bart names his new pet Stampy, but Homer can only afford one elephant in the house, and that's him. That means it's off to the ivory dealer for Bart's new best friend.
I can't do this.
We found out.
My friend.
It was Homer.
Bart and Stampy
so
ran away in the night. Two small children and crawling infant is just
points already.
Child endangerment on both Homer and Marge.
Imagine another stranger protecting your kid while you not paying attention or even worrying what happened to your kid, and another stranger go and become a parent more than the actual parent to your own kid. That kind of screw and cruel. I'll be a little pissed if another stranger did that.
Kid, forgetting the whole tiger thing, Marge simply
and she's still
the casino in the first place is
right back
crime
to the
under
slot.
21. Maggie almost getting caught. Without Marge home to stop him from being stupid, Homer grabs a shotgun and tries to shoot the imaginary boogeyman from Lisa's nightmare. The next day, he attempts to make a costume for the geography state pageant. Hello, Florida.
I'm not a state.
Homer,
I mean, have you seen some parts of Florida?
Right?
What am I doing?
Well, Marge, Homer stupidness started spreading out even more and more. But when Marge's there, Homer can concentrate. Homer can be the civilized dad that he is. But if Marge's not there, Homer is the dumbest one ever. Homer is like the ball, like the chips that you probably don't even want because of how wrinkled and disgusting and stupid it is.
Say this costume is pretty darn accurate. While Lisa was in tears about her extremely poorly crafted costume, sometimes her dad's stupidity does pay off.
The two students who obviously had no help from their parents, Lisa Simpson and Ralph Wiggum.
Of course, 99% of the time, Homer's stupid brain leads to very bad stuff happening.
And remember when I let that escaped lunatic in the house because he dressed like Claude?
Wait.
Escaped lunatic into the house.
Escaped lunatic in the house?
So Homer gets another 9 years for putting his 3 kids in danger. At least Marge got over her.
Open your eyes.
In the Cartridge family, Homer has brought a gun to protect the family, but the only threat they need protecting from is his stupid ass. Marge confiscates the gun from her dumb husband before he accidentally blows someone's head off, but she gives it back. Big mistake. 5 minutes later, this vile fiend is already contemplating committing the crime of the century.
Shoot, just take the money and get out.
What? Pooh, I would never. Or would I?
Back home.
Why are you thinking about that? And why are you playing? Alright, okay. I gotta really think about this. Did Patrick lend you his brain and just say you can keep his brain for a day or two and kept it forever, and you just start being even dumber than you normally were Did you just been born stupid and born uncontrollably dumb? You have to. There's two different ways. Patrick probably gave you the brain, or you probably were born stupid. You had to. Cause there's
his gun like he's like at her basketball off the ring. It's clear by now that this absolute doofus is too dangerous to even own a water pistol, let alone a real firearm. And it's only a matter of time before somebody dies. And that somebody's definitely going to be Marge.
No guns at the dinner table.
Going to, bro.
Fearing for everyone's lives, Marge makes Homer promise to get rid of the gun.
Like,
He's a sneaky, selfish jerk, though, and hides the pistol in his...
Why would you...
William Tell Jr. Jinx!
Leaving his gun just lying around.
Why would you leave the gun in the fridge?
Crime lord over here was too young to be held.
Saying that it's illegal to leave a kid in a car. So what about the other 30 states? So you saying the other 30 states don't care you leave a kid in the car? Alright, that kind of stupid. Maybe you probably talking about like North Dakota, South Dakota, maybe New York. Cause New York be wilding right there. Like, but to me, I'd be so hesitant to leave anybody in the car. Like, even if my little brother, my kid, anybody. Like, if I leave somebody in the car, I'd be so hesitant and shaking. Like, I couldn't leave nobody in the car. I couldn't even go and get food without asking, oh, you hungry? You need to eat? You like... I can't do that. I really can't.
Car ain't so remarkable. When Homer and Marge aren't leaving their three beloved children in the care of a wanted, the parents slightly less dangerous alternative, Grandpa Simpson. A senior citizen cognitively declined. He mistakes babies for black furry things. Homer and Marge do know Bandit, but they do know that Ace totally senile kids in his care gets them 9 years. Isn't the only family to get Homer in trouble? No, sorry, Kitty just played that.
Hello. For Marge, like, come on. Y'all
bar seem like it's in perfect condition. Exposing kids to enhanced is actually considered a form of child.
I
guess Maggie driving away made the other kids taking off in an RV didn't seem so bad.
What about my womanly needs?
That happened in the episode Mobile Homer. Barton couldn't take.
At that age, it like kids hate when their parents fight so much. They like. Kids don't like it when you fight all the time. When you fighting so much, it like I don't know what it's like, but it's something like that. It's something like that.
That was tearing their marriage apart, then flew straight off a fracking cliff. Accidentally, of course. Since we're already on the subject of near-fatal accidents, Homer in his car, man. What can I say? He's been in dozens upon dozens of crashes. When it finally does get back to beyond repair, at least he can buy a new one. You can't replace your wife and kid as easily, though.
Yeah, you can.
What the?
Cartoon physics saves the Simpsons like it always does, but even I'm stumped as to how they survived this deadly car crash.
I'm still confused on how they even survived
the Simpsons from
Homer.
No, I'm not sure what's more stupid, that or the time that Homer accidentally set
we gotta
Maggie
add
up for
about
adoption. As Homer Simpson is incompetent at literally everything.
I think Marge got a 5, 6, I don't know.
The rats scatter when Homer says he's going out to buy rat poison, but simply shopping with a dog and baby at the same time is more difficult than solving a Rubik's Cube, at least for this incompetent
Marge helping Homer and
why did I bring the baby and the dog to the poison store?
Homer's too heavy to get across the lake with the baby dog and poison, so he rows Maggie to the other side, leaves her on the doorstep of the nunnery, then goes back for Santa's little helper. Yeah, we all know where this story is.
For that brain.
One of God's discarded miracles.
Lisa went undercover as a nun to try and save Maggie, but in this episode, constant housework drives Marge insane and she endangers Maggie by suddenly stopping the car in the middle of the highway. Hours later, Homer coaxes her out of the car and she decides that she needs a vacation away from her family. Bart and Lisa are left at the mercy of Patty and Selma.
Well, why would you say that?
She's left in the care of a nincompoop who eats all her baby food and almost suffocates her to death.
Marge, you left them with a nincompoop.
Homer's found drunk over and they get totally hammered and wreck the house. Somehow he still hasn't killed Maggie and tucks her into bed with a lullaby. Homer gets another 10 years for getting drunk when he's got a baby to look after. At 11:45 a.m. the next day, this hungover dad finally comes to give Maggie her morning 9 a.m. feeding, but she's escaped and gone looking for the only competent parent she has. Homer searches high and low for Maggie, but she's nowhere to be found. Fortunately, Chief Wiggum spots her fast asleep on a rooftop and returns the baby right before Marge is due back from her vacay.
Bingo! Maggie!
The kiss gets Homer off the hook for neglect, but we're still charging him obviously.
Marge.
Marge came
I
back,
mean,
all three of her
Homer,
kids
not
were slightly
Marge.
mentally disturbed, but thankfully still in one piece. Speaking of mentally disturbed children, though, remember that episode where Homer and Marge
Well,
thought
I'm
Bart
glad,
was more
like,
nuts than the crazy
Homer's
cat lady? In
stupidness so
Paths of Glory, Bart finds
worse
an old diary
that
in an
he can
abandoned
still
insane
keep
asylum
kids
containing some very messed up and
safe,
disturbing confessions
like
from a
nothing
former
happened.
patient.
The
That
Diary
one
of
thing
Nathan Little.
that's
I pushed
surprising
a
about Homer.
vagabond under a trolley.
When Wickham comes to collect Ralphie, he finds the diary, and believing it was written by Bart, he goes to the Simpson house and breaks some terrible news to Marge.
Pages from
What?
your son's diary. I'm afraid they very clearly show him to
Son's
be a
diary?
sociopath.
Deeply concerned for their son's mental health, but also poor Homer and Marge print out an online sociopath test for Bart to
What?
take instead of taking him to a psychiatrist for a proper diagnosis. It's disguised as a fun sports quiz, but when Bart finds out what it's truly for, he fakes all the answers out of spite and gets his very first 100% on a test. Fearing their evil, depraved son will set them on fire with his sociopathic mind, Homer and Marge desperately try not to piss him off, so now he's free to do whatever the hell he wants. However, Bart's bad behavior becomes too much to handle, and his parents throw a fake birthday party to sneakily have him committed to an insane asylum.
Oh,
Is it an asylum?
They don't properly vet the place, so when
Yeah,
Bart is inside, he and all
oh,
the other mentally
Bart's
ill
going
children
to
don't
be-
get therapy
Bart's
at all.
going
They
to
just
be
get
before
used by
you
the
get
US
to high
government to
school.
test new Air Force drone simulators.
my God.
That was no simulation.
You mean we were blowing up real stuff?
Yeah.
Bart breaks down thinking he just mass murdered a bunch of real people and begs to go home. The
Oh.
government reveals the airstrikes
Nah,
really were a
nah,
simulation, and this was
no
all just a test
way.
to see if Bart really was a sociopath. As he's a
Yeah.
healthy, normal boy after all, Bart is released from the asylum and goes straight back to his parents' arms with no hard feelings. Having your own kid thrown in the nut house? What a day. Obviously, an online test is not an accurate way to diagnose someone with a mental disorder, so forcing Bart into an asylum without medical justification would actually be considered a form of false imprisonment. And Homer and Marge could both get
is?
10 years in the big house for that. We're at the halfway point now, guys, and
Okay.
these two monsters have
How
already
we-
been
how
punished
we
for their bad
already
parenting
get
in
10
the
years
show.
already?
Hey, the judge wants you to bend
Come
over
on.
so people can spank you from their cars.
Real life, however, facing a heck of a lot of jail time. Right now, Marge's disgusting treatment. Guys, if you thought almost killing their kids was
old
bad, get
days
ready because Homer and
type
Marge are
jail.
about to do it again and again. Just this time in absolutely nightmare fuel ways.
What?
In Treehouse of Horror Season 34,
Yeah.
Marge straight up tries to
Season
butcher her
34.
sweet baby Maggie with a hatchet.
Time to put the baby down.
She was possessed by an evil spirit, but the ghost made me do it would never be a real defense in court. So Marge gets 30 years for trying to murder Maggie. Now, if you thought that was terrifying, just wait.
Hey, he is right. That will never work in court. Look at why in W. Melly. Melly is talking about it was his second, like he had like two faces of Melly, and he said it was his evil side that made him kill his friends. And when you go to court, that's not gonna work out good. You can't go in court and say my evil self, my other side of myself made me kill someone, and then you go back to your normal self and say no, it wasn't me. But like you got two faces of yourself, so basically it's not just your evil side that made you do it. It was you, right? So if Martin went to court or went court in front of the judge and say someone possessed her to do that, the judge not gonna believe her. She going to jail. Like you're going to jail. You can't go and say you got possessed or someone forced you to. No, even if someone forced you to do it, you still did the killing or you still tried to do a murder. No matter if someone forced you or a spirit told you. Even if a spirit told you, it was still you who did it. Sometimes spirits are not real. So you can't go in front of the judge and say, spirit made me do that. You can't do that.
Do you see what Homer did in Treehouse of Horror 5? The Simpsons have arrived at Mr. Burns. After cutting the TV signals and depleting their beer supply, Smithers and Burns leave, wondering whether doing the same thing last time caused the previous caretaker to go insane and murder his family. Hey, at least that guy probably lasted, I don't know, a few weeks before slipping into insanity. 2 minutes after discovering there's no TV and beer, Homer completely snaps.
Sorry.
Marge obviously gets 3 counts of child endangerment for not immediately... Yep, she's gone to cook chili instead of getting her kids away from a murderous madman. The next morning, the ghosts of the lodge free Homer from the pantry, and he grabs an axe ready to replicate the most iconic scene from the movie, but madman or not, at the end of the day, he's still the same old stupid Homer.
At the end of the day,
Homer eventually finds the room his family's staying in and hacks down the door ready to murder them all, only now does Mom of the Year finally decide to call back the cops, and like always,
possessing your body,
big help.
you still didn't. It doesn't matter if we go back to Family Guy. Peter would never go and kill his family. Right? He would never go and kill his family. Right? He tortured Meg and made fun of Meg and everything, but Peter would never harm Meg. Like he would harm Meg, but not to a point where he would actually want to kill Meg or his kids. So for Homer to do that, it kind of messed up. Like Homer need to get another 2, 3, 4, something 9 years.
Little Lisa's about to be bludgeoned to death, but Kent Brockman, of all people, shows up to save her life. Next, the Simpsons snuggle down in the snow to watch some TV, perhaps a little too long.
It's the Tony Awards.
The episode ends there, so we don't know if Homer thawed out and tried to kill his family again. Both parents, however,
you try to murder your family over
that crime is obviously nothing compared to Homer trying to murder his family just because there was no TV or beer. It might accidentally be the most ridiculously evil crime on this channel, and somehow the events of this next episode seem 10 times more heinous, even though nobody died. So which Simpson kid is going to be the victim of this next crime? It ain't Bart, Lisa, or Maggie, so who is it? Well, it's Homer and Marge's fourth child. You know, the one they changed up in the attic.
We do have another child.
That'll feed that one.
Homer and Marge couldn't really be bothered to deal with raising him until they did the only humane thing any parent would have done.
You go up in the attic like an animal and fed him a bucket of fish heads once a week.
Keeping their own kid chained up in the attic, referring to him as it, and feeding him a diet not even fit for a dog is hands down the coolest, most despicable thing Marge and Homer has ever done. Like, it's totally giving Peter and his hairless twin he locks in the shed and feeds garbage vibes. I wonder if this episode of The Simpsons actually inspired that story. I guess we'll never know. Bart knows where Hugo is, though, because he's standing right in front of him.
Hugo? What do you want from me? You'll see.
That's your twin?
Hugo explains how years of being chained up in the attic drove him insane and says he wants to sew himself and Bart back together so he'll become sane. However, Dr. Hibbert shows up and punches him. I mean, knocking out a literal kid should be enough already to disqualify him from ever working as a family doctor again, and don't even get me started on this blunder.
Wait a minute. Hugo's scar is on the wrong side. He couldn't have been the evil left twin. That means the evil twin is, and always has been, Bart.
I mean, there's not really an evil twin at all, is there? The true evil ones here are Marge and Homer, the loving parents.
Yeah, it definitely. I gotta really think. When did Bart even have a twin brother? Alright? And then second of all, if Hugo was never the evil one, then why did Hugo never been the evil one? Yeah, I get it. All the time, Bart did all this, and he ended up ruling the universe and stuff, and if you imagine if Bart being a ruler, the whole world would be upside down, and there would be more demons and devils and evil spirits coming, and every nice thing that you remember would be gone. So I see why Bart would be the evil one.
The line at chaining up one kid in the attic.
Have some turkey.
Oh, you finish your fish heads, then we'll talk.
Homer and Marge kept Hugo in prison in the attic for 10 years.
10 years? Our only son in the attic for 10 years? Damn. You got 8 years? No. They each get 100 years. Add 100 years to both of them. And Homer got like 553. Marge got about like 381. Okay, 80 years? Nah, that's 100 years each. Okay, you kept Hugo in there for 10 years. And then when the doctor found that the scar went on the right side, where Bart scar went, then when the doctor said Bart was the evil son, not Hugo, y'all end up locking Bart up? So y'all gonna lock him up for 10 years just like Hugo? Y'all crazy. How y'all go from locking Hugo up for 10 years, now y'all gonna do the same thing to Bart? What type of parent
so
are
Bart
y'all?
didn't have it nearly as bad. If CPS found these parents had chained their sons in the attic and fed them only once a week, charges of child neglect, child abuse, and false imprisonment would certainly be filed, and Homer and Marge would be past the credit and already on the verge of killing his baby daughter. Parent could be stupid, or Homer has basically decided to serve Bart on the silver platter PDF files. So, daring your kid to skateboard naked in public is definitely going to raise some eyebrows at CPS. Homer would probably be investigated just to make sure he's not a PDF file himself. Then he'd be nailed for contributing to the delinquency of a minor. I mean, he totally instigated this hilarious yet terrible crime.
Get like Homer and Bart whatever you want.
Deadbeat. And did Homer J for Jackass Simpson even fracking
And even
apologize?
the mom
No, couldn't even be
laughed
bothered
at
to bring a pair of pants either.
Shirt, socks, everything you need.
You didn't bring my pants. This is the worst day
How
of
do
my
you forget the
life.
pants?
Homer shockingly doesn't commit any more crimes against his children for the next 30 minutes. He was way too busy getting Springfield Trappuccino'd. The Simpsons escape the dome and begin the long journey to Alaska, but with Homer's driving record, there's probably only like a 10% chance of them making it there alive, and I'm being generous.
Oh no.
The Simpsons get
This is
spicier
the first
luck
time
like they
Homer
always
has
do,
to.
then they re-
You gotta look. In the movie, they did less badness than in the episodes, in the seasons. When you go and watch the family, The Simpsons normal, not the movie, but the normal episodes, they did 10 times worse in those than in the movie.
Stop them!
She takes herself and her kids
Yeah.
back to the town she knows is moments away from exploding into a million pieces. A pretty noble act, but a terrible choice as a parent. Like, you go and save
How
Springfield
terrible?
if you really want to, lady, but don't drag your kids into this and get them blown up too. Homer had a spiritual...
Yeah. If you want to save Springfield, all means go ahead, right? But don't drag your kids in the same predicament and drag them into your dumbness, and don't drag them into something that they don't know that might end up getting them killed or worse. Don't do that.
Homer couldn't have saved Springfield without Bart, but the dangerous stunt would still be considered child endangerment. Now, if you're wondering what could have driven Bart to hit Homer with a chair, season after season of brutal asphyxiation is your answer.
Gun your kids!
Hey.
Your lies!
It's like, let Andrew get so bad to a point where the only thing he can do is strangle Bart. It's like, when Homer mad at Bart, he go and choke out Bart. That's the only way he ever can punish Bart. And it's like, Bart don't even get grounded, don't get no whooping. Right? If Bart do bad in school, he get choked out. If Bart go and blow the Jew, he get choked out. That's it. And Homer feel like that's the only way he'll be able to get to Bart and get through Bart is by choking his neck. What type of parents do that? And and the crazy thing about it, it's like in most episodes, Bart do so much wrong that Bart knows he gonna get choked out by his father. He know his father gonna choke him.
You little...
See,
The strangulation gag has been phased out in the
Bart
modern
in
seasons
the
for
hospital
obvious
getting
reasons.
choked.
And while that is super sweet, it still don't make up for decades of cruel abuse.
It still
His horrible
don't.
father
Yeah,
has
it
actually
don't
strangled
make up.
Bart once.
Scantily clad co-eds? Why, you little...
Homer the father, the one where Bart got abused for simply
Homer.
spitting solid facts.
The worst dad who ever lived.
Why, you little...
Damn.
And father knows best, that
How
episode where
many
Homer took his
times
child abuse to the
you
next
gotta
level with
go and choke
motherfucking
this
fire.
man? This kid, no.
Aside from the occasional burns and frequent faintings, the real damage from all those why you littles is inflicted on Bart's trachea.
So that's where Bart has all
Hey,
those
you
broken
did-
tracheal bones.
And if all
Yo.
that wasn't proof enough that Homer Simpson is one evil piece of trash father, this oxygen thief even strangled Bart when he was 2 frackin' years old.
Did you hear that, Homer?
Two?
Busy.
He's literally out here strangling babies, and Marge just keeps the camera rolling and lets it happen. She's guilty for always sitting back and not protecting her son from the
You ain't gonna
strangler,
say
and at the bare
anything
minimum,
about
she
it?
deserves to be charged with child neglect.
Yeah, you
As
can.
for
Yeah,
Homer,
Marge,
he's committed
you
111
definitely
acts
get
of
charged.
blatant child
You gotta get
abuse, and
charged
for the strangulations
with
alone,
something.
he's earned
You get-
2,200.
On paper, that actually makes Homer Simpson over 4 times worse than Peter Griffin, who only got 571 years.
So you telling me Homer got way more years in charge on his record than Peter, Marge, and Lois all combined into one? Damn, Homer. And half of them, it because you can't stop choking out Bart. Like, Bart can't do anything bad without you choking him. That's why Bart don't see you as a father. That's why Bart don't respect you. Because all you do is choke him out. Like, you think that's the only way to get through Bart is by choking his ass out. And that's not what a father's supposed to be doing to their kid.
In my previous video.
As Marge, she's way behind both of them with just 307 years.